So I recently pulled out 30,000 from my business. Let's talk about how this affected my business. But first, I'm gonna go get my hair braided because I don't like having it out, I'm not gonna lie. So let's go do that. Smell that oil burning. Yes, sir. Oil's got to burn. Oil is made to burn. All right, boys, we got the hair braider, we got the Pop Smoke braids. Now let's talk about this 30,000 I pulled out of the business. But first, let's talk about the business. You know, I made these beautiful sketches for you guys because I'm such an artist. So let's talk about the machine I've built, right? So we have this machine here, right? This is basically a visual description of my business. So I have about 125,000 in debt, rotating over and over and over again. It's 0% interest. They're, you know, business cards that are 0% interest. And so I just have that money rotating over and over. I say it rotates like every 60, yeah, like every 60 days. And so what that generates me is 20,000 monthly, right? So I've built this machine that generates me $20,000 in profit, theoretically, because we haven't hit that yet. You know, we just got that, our credit just increased. But ideally, what we'll get is 20,000 in a month. And so basically, we've built this machine that's able to stack 20,000, 20,000, 20,000, 20,000 over and over. And eventually, whatever, we'll have 80,000. That's crazy. So what I did, right? I've been doing Amazon for like about 2 years. Yeah, in 2 months, it'll be 2 years when I started, right? So in those 2 years, my business, I reinvested around 30,000. This is where that 30,000 number comes in. And basically recently, I've done an equation, right? I was like, what is my cost of goods to debt ratio? And the conclusion I came to is that it's basically even, right? My cost of goods is like 125,000 and my debt is 125,000. So after I pulled out that 30,000, now I'm in a risky situation because you don't ever want to be, you know, there. You want to be right above, or even depends on your risk tolerance. It depends on you, but my risk tolerance is kind of high. So I'd want to be like 20,000 above this number, right? So I'd want to have like 20,000 in savings in case anything goes wrong. And right now I don't. So let's talk about that 30,000 and what I did with it, right? So I took that 30,000 and let's talk about the things that, and I just want to say I don't regret any of this. Fully happy with my decisions because this is God's timing. It's not me, man. It's all God's timing. And, you know, I don't question his decisions because I've learned so much from making these decisions, right? So let's talk about the not so important things, right? So I spent some money on traveling. I went to Mexico with the boys. You know, we had a good time, right? Oh, and these are all tax deductions because the trip was for business purposes, guys. Yeah. Then we have some car maintenance and modifications, which goes under maintenance, guys. You know, this is all maintenance. And then we had some personal branding equipment like this GoPro. I've also bought like a standing desk. I've bought a few things, right? But the two most important things I've spent money on is, boom, credit acquisition. So I paid somebody to help me get another $50,000 in credit. So I paid for that. And now the most important thing the most money I've spent on is on tax consulting right here. So basically, let's talk about 2024. So in 2024, my business made around 50,000 in profit, right? And then I had to pay 10 fucking grand. I had to pay 10 grand in taxes, dude. Add it all together. And it was like, whoa, dude. I don't want to pay that much in taxes, dude. That's ridiculous. So boom, I got a tax professional to help me figure out where to put my money, right? Like, we see the machine we've built, right? It's gonna stack up hella money this year, right? And it'll be over 80K because of like we haven't even hit the peak seasons. Which that would be fun. Back to school is right around the corner. I need to have intelligent ways of parking this money. Whether that's real estate, whether that's buying like a service-based business, or those are the two things I'm thinking about. But we just need to have a plan for this, you know. I don't know what the tax law is. I don't know nothing. So I'm strategizing for these things. And now I'm like, I just need to be smart about this, right? I have this opportunity to make a whole bunch of money and park it in places that will make me more money. That, you know, I can't take this shit for granted. I need to do it right. And so that's why I've spent 30 grand, or I've pulled out 30 grand for my business. Now, how does this affect the business? I mean, like, the business didn't even fucking feel it, because I'm over here just spending money like, oh, yeah, I could do this, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, well, no, the business did feel it. Obviously, the business felt it, but it wasn't like an extreme thing that I only realized when I sat here and crunched down the numbers, what I was talking about, where it's like COGS to debt ratio. And, you know, now we have this fucking machine that would just fucking keep pumping, God willing, of course, because, you know, there's obstacles that we can face and can set us back. Because, you know, Amazon is a very risky game. You know, you may get, like, randomly regated on the brand. You know, there's spillage. There's lost inventory. There's a bunch of stuff. And, you know, it is risky. So the opportunity is here now. Let's take advantage of it. This right here, boys. Off topic, right? Like, that's really what I want to talk about. So this right here, this is the Chase Sapphire card, right? Now let's talk about that real quick. This is completely different. Wait, what percent is my battery on? 3%. Fuck. Totally different conversation. But shit turned off on me, boys. I had to change batteries. But with the Chase Sapphire, I can transfer my points to travel partners. And basically, I can get flights for free. Or I can turn it into, like, actual cashback. But, man, if I can travel for free and make money from anywhere, like, man, come on, quit playing with me. I'm finna go. I'm thinking about going to Costa Rica. My only expense would be living expenses and where I'd be staying at. Whether at Airbnb. Let me take a sip of coffee. Airbnb. And yeah, that's exciting. You know, I want to travel and make money from anywhere. So yeah, let's do that. You know, the reason I'm hesitant to travel by myself is one, because I've never done it, and also because I have a few commitments for the month of June. Like, I have a track day with my boy Josh for June 15th, and then let me check my calendar, because I'm not gonna lie, the other day Abigail was like, which is Josh's girlfriend, she was like, oh, you're this successful and you don't use a calendar? Because I had forgotten about his graduation. And I'm like, damn, she's right, bro. I've done all this, and I've been this, or I've reached this, whatever I've done, right? I've done this, right? And I haven't used the fucking calendar. Oh my God, boys. I sat there and I'm like, yo, she's right. So boom, we started using a calendar. So we got the 15th. Then tomorrow's my dad's birthday. So basically, my only commitment is the 15th. But then I also need to change the tensioner on my car. So that's going to require some time. So low key, I could go from like the 1st of June, which is kind of last minute, all the way to like the 13th. Spend like 2 weeks in Costa Rica. Or I could just go after. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll obviously keep the people posted. But for now, we just need to keep this machine. Need to keep that machine pumping. That's what we need to do. Just, okay, I can travel, but I need to keep that machine alive and pumping, dude. Without the machine pumping, then I'm fucked. Well, I'm not fucked, but I'm not progressing, and we want to progress. We want to fucking progress. But yeah, for the rest of the day, for the rest of the day, we'll be placing orders, sourcing for products. Then we'll hit the gym, and we're just gonna have a good day, boys, and we're gonna have a good day.